formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And I think that's what you're talking.
Let's pause one time. Let's pause. So before I even get onto the main thing I want to talk about in this video, sometimes when we do public speaking or we're doing presentations or stuff like that, we desire to use little quotes or mantras that we want people to remember. And I'm a big believer that sometimes we wait until we've given the story or the information to then provide them with that quote or that mantra that we want them to remember. But sometimes you can provide that first and then follow up with the supporting information. So notice in this video, I've just opened with formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. At that point, people don't have context as to what the heck I'm talking about. But I'm now going to follow up with the supporting information. So for those of you that, for example, were educated in the UK, I think it's pretty consistent across the country. But remember back when we used to do English and they would tell you, when I was younger, it's point, quote, develop. Then later on, it became point, evidence, explain. But that's basically this. Make your point, then provide the evidence and explain. Do you get what I'm saying? In order to make this point, I've provided my quote and now I'm going to develop upon it. So trust me, some of these things we learn in school are actually helpful, but we don't necessarily realize it until we're in the working world. So let's carry on. All right, let's pause again. I don't even need to talk much more about this video after this one. Notice where I'm located in the room. In the other video in this series about public speaking, I was in the middle of the room, you know, in that kind of like middle pathway that existed between the left and the right side of the room where the two screens are in the middle. Notice in this one, I'm in the corner of the room. Arguably, that's a terrible place to locate yourself if you're doing public speaking, because now you're not in the middle for everybody to be able to have the same sort of like view of you. But the reason I'm in that part of the room is because somebody had contributed something to the session. They had made a suggestion, they had answered a question. And I thought it was so valuable, but I said, if I stay in the middle, I can't show them the full appreciation of their contribution. So I've walked all the way over to them so that way, when I go to then build upon what they've shared to provide this quote and tell this story, I'm actually located close enough to them for people to know that I'm fully acknowledging their contribution. They start to become fully valued. They also feel fully engaged. Plus, that person, given the fact that they were in the far corner of the room, technically is the furthest away from me. So now those people who are far away from me in this room, who are therefore the easiest to quote unquote switch off because they're like, no, I'm not that close to the person delivering, so they probably can't see if I like go on my phone or nod off. They can't do that now because I'm local. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm very local. Proximity wise, I'm close to you now. So now you have to stay switched on because I'm right here. Do you feel me? So where you locate yourself is very important because it allows you to acknowledge the contributions that are coming from all parts of the room, but also lets people know you feel comfortable taking up space. And as a speaker, I think showing that you're comfortable taking up space at times is very important.